Skizz and Yeshi, Weshi and Swizz.
No, that's not.
Weshi,
If we
Dwiz.
No. If there's
Weshi and Dwiz.
If there's ever a time to be formal, we're not at the shop. We don't have mics. You out here? Turn it off for me. You're You're fucking it up. You're fucking it up.
Yeah.
It's Swizz and Pesci, Pesci and Swizz. There's enough people that don't know my name as it is. There's no reason for you to be sitting here fucking it up right now. So let's do it together. Swizz and Pesci, Pesci and Swizz. All right. Welcome back. It's your favorite podcast. It's your auntie's favorite podcast. It's your baby mama's favorite podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast. Swizz and Pesci. We're here with a fucking super special guest today. I don't know what's taking us so long to get him on, but if there's anybody who I debate sports with more than him, or as much as him, it's this guy. So I'd like to introduce you guys to my good friend, Tyler.
Appreciate y'all.
So I'm gonna get right into it. LeBron's a bitch. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
For 100.
If there's anybody watching right now that is friends with both of us on Facebook, you've seen it. You've seen the banter. You've seen us go back and forth. So I'm expecting today to be a good show. So let's get right into it. Wow, playoff basketball. Right now, there are 2 series left. We got Dallas, Golden State.
I got Knicks in 7.
Them niggas ass.
Can you at least wait till we get to the East to say that? It's good to be
We
like.
starting with the West?
Yeah, he said Knicks in 7. I said we got Dallas, Warriors, and then in the East we got Boston, Miami. Right now, Golden State's up 3-1. Boston and Miami are tied 2-2. So me and Swizz kind of have already done this. So because you haven't,
Shout out the
who do
Yankees.
you have going to the finals? Going
I see you, Drewski.
right now.
Shout out the
All right,
Yankees.
both teams.
Yeah.
Celtics for sure, and then definitely the Warriors.
Yeah.
I got the Celtics going.
No, it's just it's just funny how it's playing out. It's just funny how it's playing out because not 6 months ago I was sitting in this room.
Okay.
And I said Golden State was going back to the
I
finals.
told myself I was just gonna be quiet today, let him do this. But then he come back with the bullshit.
The
If
bullshit.
anybody has known Joey since he came through to the neighborhood, they'll tell you that we can go down the list of both conferences and name 6-7 squads he rock with. That's the thing. If you say it's either gonna be Boston or Milwaukee, well that's 2 of the top teams, so that gives you 2 outs. Okay.
But what was the common of the 2 though? I said
a team in green.
I said
Anybody wearing green.
either team wearing green.
So I'm just saying, like, when it comes down to is, you're probably gonna be right, but you know what? If we're being real, you were leaning towards Milwaukee before the series started.
Oh, I'm not talking about Boston. I'm talking about Golden State specifically because I know, like, I definitely was leaning more towards Milwaukee halfway through the season. But I told you All-Star break. I said if the Celtics can switch, like, can turn it up, they're gonna be the team to beat. We'll check the receipts.
You said
I know exactly what episode it
I'll
is.
tell you exactly what you said. You said
Okay.
that they're going to be dangerous, and that's true.
Okay.
But you never were like, if Boston, because at that point when you said that, they were like 2 games above 500, so you were never like, Boston's going to win the championship. Boston's going to come out of the East. You just say that. I'm just saying, like, just call it what it is. Say what you mean what you say. I gotta see Steve Ballack. He did say it though. Yeah, okay, Steve-O. We don't need you co-signing everything this dude says.
Steve.
All right, Steve-O? I'm on that ass.
All right. Well, I asked him a question, and then he kind of...
I apologize. Knicks in 7.
So, you said Boston, Golden State.
For sure.
Obviously, right now, Golden State's definitely the favorite to win that series. But Boston and Miami...
would have won if he had like an all-star team, but...
I don't want to say he definitely would have won, but it obviously wouldn't have been a sweep or a gentleman's sweep.
Luka could do better, but...
Did you just say that Dallas would have won the series?
Oh yeah, for sure.
If Luka had another good player?
Like an all-star teammate? Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I personally...
Tell me I'm lying.
I personally
I mean,
can't get
hear me out
behind
though.
that.
Hear me out though.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. I always wasn't sold on Luka. Like I always say, he didn't play defense. He
We're not even
unathletic. He unathletic. All that shit. But like, when you really look at it, like all you gotta do is sum up a little bit, and he could be like I told you before the show, a decent defender, and he could be one of the best players in the league. He already is. So like, imagine if he plays defense.
I'm not.
And he don't really like. I ain't gonna lie. Like his style of play, like it's not really gonna win the championship, but like he might have to tweak it a little bit because he's like a ball hog. He be dribbling a lot and then kick out. So it's kind of ass, but I mean, they can figure that out. That's like a coaching thing. Jason, I feel like he got a good coach, so I feel like they can figure that out. But
there's 5 players on Golden State that are better than the second best player in Dallas. They needed more than just one other good All-Star.
I mean, for sure, but
I personally can't get behind that only because I think Golden State's that loaded. I think obviously it's depending on what superstar you add. But if you add Rudy Gobert to that squad and they keep the core, I don't personally like Rudy Gobert, but I think that's what they're lacking as a big. So if you can go get DeAndre Ayton, he's not happy in Phoenix. I'm not saying that they're not going to be good, but I'm that sold on Golden State that that's going to be the team to beat for the next at least 2 years after this one. I'm calling it now. As long as everybody's healthy, Golden State might be on another run.
I think that every year to year is different when it comes to like favorites to come out because we're in the super team era, so it all depends on who goes where. You know, because next season we could see Dame Lillard go somewhere, and then we'll be like, oh, wherever he went, if they already had 1 or 2 guys, we'll be like, oh, well, that team's, there's nobody's beating that team. Just like when Brooklyn set up that whole thing, we were all like, oh, nobody's beating Brooklyn.
So there's a lot tied into that, though. Like,
what you mean?
Like, you got who's their shooter on that team? Joe Harris.
Yeah, but he was hurt. I was gonna say he was hurt.
But that's in the league. Like that is in the whole like.
No, that's.
No, I'm not saying that they
5
did.
3-point
And then you got all the.
I'm talking about hype prior to the season, like.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true.
Like for him to make the claim about for the next 2 years, to me, I can't say nothing past the season we're in because just 2 years ago the Lakers won the championship, and the Lakers didn't even make it. You know what I'm saying? It's all year to year when it comes to basketball because players move around and build these super teams. And with guys like Dame, Donovan Mitchell, like some stars that are Bradley Beal, like all these possible players that could make or break a team's championship aspirations right now. I can't say 2 years because Golden State just last year they were like the last team in the league or something.
Well, that's because their whole team was hurt.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but either way, I'm gonna ask you a question before I forget it because you mentioned Bradley Beal, and I'm gonna ask you the same question. Obviously, fuck the Knicks. Nobody cares about the Knicks.
Everybody on
they're dog shit.
What about the Knicks?
They're dog. I guarantee there's not a single comment about the Knicks on there. I guarantee. Either way,
comment about the Knicks.
You mentioned Bradley Beal, and he's eligible for a $270 million extension this year. With the Wizards lacking in so many different aspects of their team, what would you guys do as GMs? Are you signing him and still rebuilding around him, or is it time to get rid of him, try and get some pieces, get some draft picks, and really start an actual rebuild?
I'd rather them do that than keep him because you gotta think it's kind of like the Jokic thing. Like they say Jokic is on
next.
Fuck.
Steve-O! Knicks Nation! Let's go!
So yeah, it's kind of like Jokic. They say he's eligible for like the largest contract in history. So it's like I don't feel like he should take that because it's like if you really want to like build a dynasty and like he gonna have to get a little bit more with that team. Okay, yeah, I know MPJ and Jamal Murray was hurt, but like. They still gonna need like more pieces when it comes time for their contract. Like
I'm not saying you're wrong because but we're in an era where everybody gets to everybody's getting their money. Nobody's taking really like pay cuts. If you're eligible for that extension, you go take it. So I'm talking about like in terms of in terms of GM. Like you're not signing them. You're going with the rebuild, or are you re-signing Bradley Beal?
I'm gonna go with the rebuild.
You going with the rebuild?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably best for both sides too.
Yeah. Well, I would love to see him get out of there because he's wasting his prime. He's wasting his prime.
That's how I feel about Dame.
Yeah. Same thing. But Dame's like, I think Dame's got that like weird chip on his shoulder where he's like, I gotta stay.
Can we go back to the question though? Let's be professional. The question was if you were the Wizards GM.
Okay.
We're not talking about what Bradley Beal wants.
Okay. Well,
If you're the Wizards
I
GM,
asked him that question, and he said, and he answered.
No, he said he's like I would leave.
No,
If I was him.
I'm
I said
saying
it was best for both sides.
Yeah, I'm saying that they should. I'm saying that they should go for the rebuild and let him go, and then he goes to another team.
All right, now let me tell you why you are smoking work.
Wait, before you do that, you answer. I was gonna say you.
Yeah, let me see what you said.
Okay, this is the
You're
answer.
100% giving him the contract. Here's why. Because it's an asset. Why would you let an asset go for nothing? You sign him, and then you can trade him. But if you let him walk, now you got nothing for him.
But think about this. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's like it's gonna happen. It's probably most likely not gonna happen. But you can have him sign his contract. He ends up having these like bad years, or like it's probably not gonna happen, of course. But like he ends up having these bad years. It's kind of like, think of it like, this might be a bad example. But it's kind of like the Westbrook situation. Like they signed him that huge contract. Thought he was going somewhere. Thought he was really going somewhere. And it's like, things happen.
Well, that's so general. You can say that about anybody.
Not really though. You can't say that.
Tell me that you think Bradley Beal's about to hit the cliff.
No, he's not. Of course. But you gotta think if he signs this big contract, right?
You already lost John Wall for nothing.
Exactly.
You ain't about to do that with Beal. You're gonna sign him, give him the money, and then somebody's gonna want Beal if they say that he's available.
He's not on a contract.
But imagine
he's eligible for an extension. I don't think.
So what does that mean?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think his contract's up though. I don't think his contract's up though. Like he's about to walk for nothing.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, you could
do
do two things. You could do two things.
And then somebody else has got to eat that.
Or you could like give him a contract, or you could give him.
I'm not paying. He's the second best player on any team.
Or listen, you could give him the contract, but set it up in a way so it's like he has to reach these incentives, or like first team all NBAs and things of that nature. So like I feel like you could I would probably when you put it like that I would probably resign him, but like I would put things in there like that like.
Do you know? Let's say he doesn't get another. The Wizards don't even get a player for Beal. At the very least, they're going to get multiple first-round picks.
That's true.
So that goes into what you said about the rebuild. Because I agree with you, the Wizards need to rebuild. Because if Beal's your number one, you're not winning more than 30 games. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Hey, see, you know what? But
what though, Tone? I'm only making the comment because Tone had to go and fucking say something. He said,
but we got our letters on it though.
He said from core water to pour water. You know what, Tone? Fuck you. This isn't core water. Shout out to core water though. Shout out to core water. I'm trying to get my sponsorship, so I had to take the label off of it. This water is not nearly as good as core water. Stop playing.
Nah, but for real,
go and say something, Tony.
I'm just saying, like, if I'm the Wizards and how badly that whole thing broke apart with Wall, Beal, to me, money's no object right now because there's no player on your team that you are dedicated to building around as of right now.
Montrez?
So what I'm saying is the money that you're dedicated.
Montrez, rebuild.
Even if, like you said, if something happens and he gets hurt and he loses his value, maybe he just hits a cliff and ends up paying like shit. It's still worth it because what else are you paying that money into? As a team, you have a salary. Where's the money going? Because even if they do draft a stud this year, he's not getting paid for 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
so
true. Okay,
the
so
money
it's
tied
kinda
up right now doesn't matter as much as losing him if he comes out this year and averages 28 again. Now you trade him for 2 first-round picks. You're good off the cap, and you have 2 first-rounders from whatever team.
So how much more do you think they need to be like a real contending team?
Keeping Beal. What do they need? They need a leader. They need a point guard, and I think they need a better coach. But that's asking a lot.
So by leader, do you mean like anyone on the team step up, or are you talking about like an additional new player on top of that?
I think like Chris Paul, what he did for Phoenix. That's what somebody needs to do for Washington.
Like somebody come there, or you think somebody there can step up like that?
I would like to I like to be positive. I like to say Beal could step up and do that, but I've not seen a leadership thing from Beal. Not that he's at all toxic or a cancer or not a good teammate. He is great. But in terms of just being a leader and galvanizing troops like Patrick Beverley, like Marcus Smart, like Chris Paul. Like these guys bring a different level of intensity to practice and games that I don't think Beal does. Beal's a great scorer and he's a great teammate and nobody ever complains about him, but there's just a difference. You saw that with Phoenix. They had Booker, A, and they had these guys, but they brought Chris Paul in and everything changed.
Yeah, but Chris Paul's also elite though.
Okay, but just 3-4 years ago, we were talking, and I said that Chris Paul got the worst contract I've ever seen in my life. But he's playing like shit.
But that's you, though.
But everybody said that.
That's you.
But that's what I'm saying. Chris Paul is playing better now, and he actually just choked again in the playoffs, which is nothing new for him.
Exactly.
If we're going to talk about James Harden,
If
we're going to keep talking about James Harden and how he chokes in the playoffs, when are we going to start talking about Chris Paul? And
that's what I said.
I hate all the shit that Pat Beverly said on this last 2 weeks he's been on ESPN, because he's been spitting absolute dumb shit, 100%. But that is one point I did agree with. Like, why are we going to just pick and choose who we slander in the media? Because James Harden gets all this slander, rightfully so, but Chris Paul's been doing the same thing.
That's how I feel about Westbrook.
So I think the only reason why Chris Paul doesn't get as much slander is because he's looked at as such a high caliber point guard in terms of all time. Where James Harden, nobody's really looking at him all time shooting guard.
They should.
They were saying he's the top 10 shooting guard of all time.
Yeah, but Chris Paul is arguably top 5 point guard of all time without any rings or finals appearances. It's arguable. It's arguable.
I mean, I can name off the top of my head like 5 guys
that you would put over Chris Paul all time. Hit me off the top of your head then.
Magic,
obviously.
Sure.
Stockton,
obviously.
Obviously Langston. No, he's a 2.
Steph,
100%.
For sure.
Obviously.
I want to say, and you're not going to like this, but I want to say Rondo, because he's got a championship and he's just as good of a passer as Chris Paul.
And we know these playoff quotation of players.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Playoff Rondo.
Okay.
I would. He's been clutch in the playoffs.
Listen, I'm not gonna deny that, but I'm talking about we're talking about all time. Rondo.
I know. I'm talking dude.
But nobody's put Rondo in their all-time point guards. But you didn't even put Oscar Robinson up there. You're gonna put Rondo up there.
Oscar Robinson's above Rondo. I was just going off the top of my head right now.
But Rondo over Chris Paul though.
I personally,
he's got 1 ring that he won with the 3rd best power forward of all time. 2nd, depending on who you're asking.
Okay.
One of the best coaches of all time, at least at that era.
But what team did he beat? A powerhouse.
But I'm not. But it's a collective. It's not It's not like he went out there and Rondo dropped 50.
Rondo's averaging like 13 assists at that point. What was the last time a player in the league was ever averaging that much?
Listen, I'd be willing to bet you that Chris Paul's done it at least once.
Yeah.
Since then.
No.
That was 2008.
Yeah.
Chris Paul got drafted in 2005, 2006?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You're telling me that he never did that with the Clippers at all?
Averaged 13 assists a game.
Averaged over 10.
No, he has over 10.
I'd give him 12. I'd give him 12 on his best year.
No, to go back to his original point Chris Paul and James Harden, they should get the same James Harden. They should get the same amount of thunder. If you're gonna, especially how you're gonna talk about him.
Okay.
That's how I feel about Westbrook.
So, but what about
what do y'all think about that?
I'm gonna just double onto the James Harden thing real quick. In terms of teammates, who has Chris Paul played with in terms of compared to James Harden? Because James Harden's played with Kevin Durant now twice.
That's true.
He played with Russell Westbrook once. He played with Chris Paul.
I'm not saying when you comparing names like that. Of course.
But even then, though, you look at the stats.
But Chris Paul has a great all-around team, though. Suns.
In Charlotte, they were dog shit. And he dragged them to the playoffs. In LA, we all know what happened in LA. They should have, but Chris Paul's not. We see it now. He's not the guy that's going to lead you to a championship. He's going to be the point guard to facilitate an all-star in Devin Booker and have a good big. So he wasn't going to take Blake, DeAndre, and JJ.
But he had potential to though.
He definitely did, and they choked it away. And he's inevitable for choking. But in terms of teammates, though, James Harden's had a lot of great teammates. I don't think Chris Paul's had as many great teammates or even as good of coaches as James Harden.
I'm putting white chocolate over Chris Paul.
Jason Williams? He just said Jason Williams.
You're wild. Over Chris Paul?
No, so I checked the stats. Rondo averaged over 11 4 times in his career. Chris Paul only did twice.
Okay, were they ever over 13? Or were they ever 13?
The highest Rondo's was 11.7.
What was Chris Paul's highest?
11.1.
Okay. I'm not. I'll give it to you, bro. I'm not saying that Rondo's not a valid option. I just personally think putting him over Chris Paul is blasphemous. That's just...
No,
I just think that...
Again,
that might be one of your most shoddy takes of all time. Just because there's no way. There's no way. Because we're going to break down these stats after
what are you basing this off of? Because if he's a better passer and he has a championship, what are you talking about?
You're saying he's a better passer because he's averaged 11 assists 4 times compared to Chris Paul's 2.
Yeah.
Okay? But does that mean he's a better passer because he averages more assists? Look at the turnovers. Hold on,
can I tell you why you say this?
Look at the turnovers.
Ty, tell me what you think about this. You don't know the reason why you say this about Chris Paul?
Why?
It's because Rondo was Dwight Howard. He was in his prime for a very short amount of time. Chris Paul's had the longevity. If you talk about Chris Paul only being valid the years Rondo was being valid, Rondo would be better. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. Because Chris Paul's had longevity at a high level, it's different. Rondo's peak was higher than Chris Paul's peak, but Chris Paul's been valid and playing at All-Star caliber.
But that is what we determine all-time greatness, though, is how long you can play.
Then why is Dwight Howard on the 75 list? Then?
The 75 list is bullshit. The 75 list is bullshit.
We all know from like the first days of the that's just
we all know the 75 list is bullshit.
They only put him in there off of like precedent.
Poo caca. That was a poo caca statement. But regardless of the fact, though, like I don't.
But you understand what I'm saying now.
I know what you're trying, I know what you're saying, but that's what that's what we base all-time greatness on, is how long you can do it. And that's why I'm giving it to Chris Paul, because he's always been considered an elite point guard. From the time he came into the league until 2 years ago, and then the beginning of this season.
So what about this? So this is a kind of like a counter statement. So what about Kawhi Leonard? He hasn't played, he's been injured, missed a lot of games compared to a lot of people, but his resume is... That shit is elite.
Me and Markel actually just talked about this the other day. If Kawhi Leonard actually played more games, you could start to put him in that conversation.
For sure.
But
bro, because imagine what he could have really did.
Conversation in terms of all-time great small forwards.
The resume he has and the time he has is elite. So it's
we're not looking at the time that he has. We're not looking. It's about longevity, and we're looking about from the time you get drafted to the time you retire. It's not about your prime.
I don't think that's kind of a fair
saying.
But it's not your prime years though, because if we're talking about prime years, the all-time great lists would all be shot. They'd all be shot because they're obviously
it's not one or the other. There's a gray area. It's not only going off guys in their prime, and it's not only going off because this guy played at a high level longer. It's you factor all those things in to make this decision.
But at what point have we ever said this guy's the greatest of all time because of his prime? If that was the case, would Tracy McGrady not be one of the greatest fucking shooting guards of all time with what he was able to accomplish in that small amount of time?
That's the thing. McGrady
Same thing with Penny.
No rings.
That's why what ifs are weird though. What if
he's got no rings?
How much do you value?
But when you look at what someone what he's saying is a valid point, because when you look at all time, for example, Chris Paul, his all time of course is better because he got longevity, but it's
But it's better because you're counting playoff appearances.
Exactly.
You're counting all-star appearances. But
But why are we taking that away from him? He was able to keep it up for that long.
I'm not taking it away from him. But if you look at his playoff resume, just like I say about all the football players we talk about, what do you do in the playoffs? He has constantly come up short himself, not just the team. Because the team failure, that's one thing. But Chris Paul's numbers were poo-poo caca.
Yes.
Atrocious.
Everybody's numbers were poo-poo caca in Game 7, though. So we're not
just Game 7.
No, I know.
From Game 4 on.
I know what you mean.
Those last 3 games were terrible from him.
But even look at what you said though.
Okay.
He couldn't get there. He couldn't get there. But you put John Stockton on your list.
Yeah.
Does he got a ring?
Did John Stockton choke in the playoffs?
No, but he doesn't have a ring though.
Okay.
So you're just saying it because he's choked, or is it because he doesn't have a ring?
No, it's because Chris Paul's the reason he doesn't have a ring. Chris Paul multiple times has underachieved with teams. When has anyone been like, oh, that team underachieved?
I'm using it as an example.
They were always the underdogs.
Even in Houston, though.
Forget Houston. Clippers. that Clippers team, you know more than anyone, underachieved.
With Chris Paul?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Underachieved.
You gotta admit that.
I'm not denying that because I'm a Clippers fan and I'm super butthurt about it. But
Okay,
however,
that's all I'm trying to tell
Chris
you.
Paul gets hurt every year. And I'm not using that as an excuse.
Okay.
I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm just saying, like, at points in time of his career, yeah, they've been up and then they lost a series. But if you look, it's because he wasn't playing anymore.
Okay, but so you can say that. You could, like, that's kind of what you said earlier about me saying the general statement. You can say it about anybody because look at it. Look at AD. Look at what he does in the playoffs.
Look at the Bucks. They just lost to Boston because Middleton didn't play. But
When AD
if
goes
Middleton
down,
plays
like,
that series, they win. Like, I'm not even arguing. They win the
injuries
series.
somehow related to AD. Even that team with the Pelicans. If DeMarcus Cousins didn't go down,
They weren't beating Golden State, though.
I mean,
They weren't beating
they were giving him a fight.
Yeah.
Were they not giving him a fight?
They
Just
got
that-
That team was evil. Bro, that team was really... Bro, I'm telling you,
Because
nobody
when they
was
have a point
fucking with them.
guard, Playoff Rondo. Rondo with you holiday. Playoff Rondo.
Let's get off this Rondo.
Oh,
I'm telling you, that's a perfect example. I'm telling you, they was really nice.
Listen.
Like, if DeMarcus Cousins didn't go down, I promise you, bro, like, that team probably... They really could have beat them. Like,
I just can't.
Come on, you
I can't.
Come on.
Oh,
DeMarcus Cousins and AD,
You
they
are
were both
really
in their
gonna-
prime, bro. Like, that, you know how crazy that is?
I cannot believe I'm even entertaining this right now. You throw AD back, you throw DeMarcus Cousins back on that team, they're not getting
Bro,
gentlemen swept.
that team...
They got swept that year.
That team was fire, I'm telling you,
They're
bro.
getting bumped out in
That
6.
changes their
That
whole...
is not that series is not going 7. They're getting bumped out in 6.
Cool.
He's saying if DeMarcus Cousins gets added back to that lineup of New Orleans, he said that series changes. It's still 6 games.
The series changes, but I agree with you that Golden State would have still won the series.
Guys,
Would it be a fight?
Absolutely. It was a fight.
those 7, they got swept.
Yeah,
It
but
was
there
a
was,
fight.
those games were gritty
Yeah.
and close.
Come on.
But then what
Now
happened?
you add DeMarcus
But then what
Cousins.
happened? But then what
Right,
happened?
DeMarcus.
But then what happened? What happened in those games? MVP. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. MVP came out and did his thing and did what he was supposed to do. Steph Curry started shitting in all those
He did,
closeout
he did.
games because you remember the game where he missed the 3, Iguodala got the rebound, kicked it back, AD fouled his ass, he still made it, and then he won the game. Like, he did that in all 4 of those games.
You want to talk about legacy? This year's finals is going to make or break Steph's legacy in a lot of people's minds in terms of, he's already the greatest shooter of all time, but in terms of that all-time great list, I feel like this year is going to make or break how high he can get on that list. For me.
If Steph wins and finally gets his finals MVP, we have to start putting him at, like, top 2 or 3 point guards of all time.
I'm talking about he will be top 10 player of all time.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's what I'm
Oh,
talking about.
absolutely.
Point
How do you
guard,
think about that? What do you think about
What?
that? What do you think about that? If Steph wins this
It's
year...
not about if he wins necessarily. It's about how he plays.
How
because
he
he's been
plays.
shaky in playoffs. And
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So, like, all
Like
that,
if
like,
Poole goes off for 40 a game and they win the series, I'm not
But
looking
it's
at
been
Curry.
great.
going,
Even
"Ah,
back in the
come on."
past.
So what I'm saying is though, Curry plays good. They win the finals. He finally gets his finals MVP. He's top 10 of all time, right?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're
Yeah,
already the
definitely.
greatest shooter of all time.
You say he gets finals MVP too, right?
If he finally gets his first finals MVP, because I think that's what a lot of people hold against him is he's got 2 chips but no, or 3 chips but no finals.
Yeah, exactly.
So if he finally gets his one, then he'd have what, 4? Right? He's got 3 right now. Am I wrong?
He leaves Golden State and starts a dynasty.
Am I
with the
wrong?
Knicks.
No, he has 3, right?
He's
Or
got
2?
3, right?
No, no, he has 3. He has 3. He has 3.
Yeah, he's got 3. Yeah, I was just saying, I'm not
Yeah,
bugging.
one by
Yeah.
himself and 2 with KD.
Yeah,
I was just saying, I'm not bugging. Yeah. So you get
So that's 4.
So
We're
you
the
have
finals.
4.
Nah, that's elite. That's
And you have the best.
He's up
You
there.
have the best record of all time.
best shooter of all time.
Best shooter of all time. The only
Like, not
unanimous,
even close.
no,
He won a
Maybe-
3-point contest.
unanimous MVP. He's got back-to-back MVP. He's the only player.
Nah, he's up there. He's
I
up
was
there.
saying, yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
What else was I
But
saying?
you want
No,
to
you're
know,
not bugging.
something? You wanna know something? I have the receipts. They're on my phone. I definitely recorded that 3 or 4 years ago on Gas Talk. I put it on my life. I remember sitting in my old apartment. Oh my God, I have to listen to all of those and find it because I remember specifically there was a time me, Stanley, and Markel were sitting at my old apartment and I was getting gunned by both of them. Alex might even have been there and he was gunning my ass too because I feel like I remember hearing him yelling at me too. But I said that if Steph won 1 or 2 more and finally got a Finals MVP, that he'd be considered one of the best point guards of all time, and I said he'd be top 15 of all time. And they both, all three of them, if all three of them were there, if not, both of them were gunning that shit.
Because
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way.
year to changes so.
But that was
much.
2-3 years ago. Nothing's really changed.
Imagine 2 years ago, we were talking about, like he said, Kawhi. Like everyone, Kawhi's the best player in the league. Kawhi
tore his ACL.
No, I know, but
when Kawhi's playing, he's top 3 in the debate.
Not even close. He's definitely top 3.
Yeah, it's like him, KD, LeBron, no matter the order, like.
Wait, hold on.
Maybe
playing
up until this year,
Up until this year, yes.
It was KD, LeBron, and Kawhi. No debate.
And I'm not a Giannis fan, but Giannis.
I was just saying Giannis has to be in the list now. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I personally, to me, he's probably the best in the world right now.
Well, because and that goes to winning and losing being one thing, and another thing being how they played. Giannis, although I did say he came up big, he came up small, Game 7 in terms of easy shots he was missing.
Yeah.
But statistically, if you look at his numbers, he still shot a high percentage.
Oh, look at his resume. That shit is easy.
His numbers are always
like I mean, arguing about it all the time. Like,
and it's both sides. That's why we had the argument about Luka,
Yeah.
because Luka. I mean, I was watching the game the other day. I thought they were dragging it with the defense thing, but
I told you.
I've been so people that
so
he
slow.
can.
That's what
his pocket
his
is there.
first step is so
you missed it.
slow.
Before you came, what did I tell you? Word for word. I said Luka, like, he slims up. Not even slim up. He just got to get in shape. He's 6'8", 250. Like,
I think it's more so his just fundamentals on defense.
He's got sluggish feet. He got sluggish feet. Like, he's slow in his feet.
When
Like,
he's guarding somebody straight up one, he always goes to one side or the other.
what did Patrick Beverly say? Didn't Patrick Beverly call him a cone? Or no, he's talking about Chris Paul, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He should have said that about Luka. Luka is really, like, he's really that. Like,
But it's to the point where they're like picking on him though. Like it's bad.
yeah, I told you.
It's bad.
This is why
It's
when
bad.
Jason Tatum versus
Yeah.
Luka, I pick Jason Tatum because it's like when you have offense, okay, whatever.
But
And then you got defense, like, come on, like,
that's
how's that a
the
conversation?
reason why that it's hard for kids to adjust, because if you so whoever's Luka's guarding, you send help. Golden State has 5 guys that can shoot, because for some reason Draymond's been shooting a little bit more in the playoffs this series. Not shooting like he used to, but he can put up that shot still. So you have Wiggins, Poole, Clay, and Steph. So if you bring help, you leave one of those guys open, it's over, because they're going to shoot you out the gym. Would you rather give up the 2 points or the 3? I think that's why Jason Kidd kept it without giving him help. You saw how many times it was just wide open blow by layups, because you can't send that help because they're going to kick it out to any of these guys who can knock it down.
He gets picked on. He gets picked on.
So until, like you said, for the way that it's structured and set up right now for that team, he needs to be a better defender, because they cannot afford to give help.
And he's kind of doing the same thing LeBron does. Like, he's complaining about the refs. He's doing all this crying and stuff like that. He's like,
He's definitely gotta stop that.
Like, he's like mad emotional, and that, like, you guys, like, well, I ain't gonna say you can ask, but like, you can watch interviews and stuff like that. That affects NBA players, like, you feel me? So like if you got an attitude and shit like that, you're gonna play differently. So it's like, you gotta be like, you gotta notice, like it starts from the top. So like, you set the tone, and then it goes to the bottom. Like, so everybody feeds off of you. You feel me? So it's like, that's why I said, like, I don't know if I said it on here or if it was before. Like he has to change his game. Like, he like that style of basketball is not gonna win a championship. So it's like, he has to adjust it a little bit. Like, he has to trust his teammates more. That's what it really is. Because you got to think, when he was out, Jalen Brunson, he was like, you feel me? He was going crazy. So it's like, he had that opportunity, and you feel me? So he has to change up his game, and I agree with him. He has to, like, his defense has to get better. Like you said, getting picked on. Like,
Picked on. It's a shooting league. It's not like it used to be, where the paint's clogged. Now it's everyone's out on the perimeter. So if you can't defend one-on-one, even to like a decent clip, it's over, because they're gonna have wide open layups, blow-bys, especially.
So who do you got? Jason Tatum or Luka?
Who would I rather have, or what are you asking me?
Like,
because he's already asked me this like a bunch of times.
Yeah, like, so if you had
specific on what you asked me.
Like, if you had to pick, like, as a GM, like, you're gonna go Luka or Tatum, like.
As a GM?
Yeah.
As a GM, I would take Luka.
Oh God, see, like, why? Like, bro, like, but it's the thing is, offense, defense, like.
No, and again, he'll tell you who I like more. I like Jason Tatum more because he's an all-around player. That's the kind of guy I like. But if I'm a GM, I cannot let Luka go. Luka, offensively, he is Larry Bird. Like, that's what he's been compared to. Like he is going to go down as one of the greatest scorers of all time. That's where I'm at with him.
Yo.
He does things offensively. I just don't understand how he does it. He moves so slow. You have to go to his pace.
Oh, he's strong as shit. So it's like, Bro, I'm telling you, he's 6'8", 250, bro. So it's like that. But I said this like before. Like I argue about this all the time. Like his control of the game.
We're just gonna skip past what he just said. No, he said he's about to go down as the greatest scorer of all time. What?
That was kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That was crazy.
He's gonna go down. I said, well, that's one of them. Yeah, he is.
Bro,
Like,
you're out
bro.
of your mind. But if you're
Come
gonna
on.
make,
I would rather have.
if you're gonna make a Larry Bird comparison and then go and say something crazy like that, you were better off comparing him to Bron, because you're out of your mind, bro.
Such a different player than Bron.
Okay, but like I'm saying though, in terms of dominance, like Larry Bird, he could shoot, but he didn't have an arsenal like Luka's got. Like Luka's got an arsenal, but you can't go make that statement comparing him to Larry Bird for one, and for two, there's nobody better on this planet than just putting the basketball in the cup than Kevin Durant, and that's a fact.
That's the problem.
Hey.
That's
a fact.
That's I gotta stop.
Listen, in terms of playing basketball right now, not even close. I think Kevin Durant's the best scorer in the league.
After the playoffs,
He had one. He
What are we
had.
basing it off of?
I'm talking about scoring. Who gonna torch you when he gets hot?
Like we
ain't
talking about
nobody
like
stop
there's
him.
people who's been injured. I'm not gonna say no names, but like if like where I become with injuries without.
bro, 4 games KD got shut down.
I'm not talking about this.
That's what I'm
year
saying.
specifically,
Like that's
though.
let's keep it real. This is
I'm
the
not,
first
but
time
we're
we've
not-
really seen like
But we're not talking about
a
this
team
year
who's
specifically.
really can like. But it's like, but we have to though. Like it's that big that we have to. It's like every superstar kind of has like a gray area in their career where it's like, oh, you really fucked up. Like LeBron has the 9.
But I'm asking who's the best
Like,
scorer in the league.
All right, but listen.
Like we're gonna.
When you're looking at numbers and you're looking at this,
You're
is why-
telling me Luka's a better scorer than KD?
No. Hear me out. I'm not even gonna say him. I'm not even talking about him. I'm just saying when you're looking at it like. That's why I say you have to look within like a certain time period. Like it's like he said. That's why I agree with him. With like you looking within his prime. So it's like look at Kawhi. When you look at the numbers and the percentages, Kawhi is like. He's pretty much can do everything he can, but you like when you're looking at okay, who's done it longer, who's didn't, whatever. Like, of course you're gonna go KD. I'm agreeing with you. Like, KD is the greatest of all time.
Like, I can't give it to Kawhi. Like,
I'm not saying Kawhi is the greatest scorer of all time, but I'm saying like to go back to what he was saying. Like, I don't know, like that Luka thing was kind of like.
I don't think KD.
He said that was kind of out of here.
I don't think KD's the greatest scorer of all time. I think he's the greatest scorer.
What do you think is
Michael Jordan? Oh my God.
Okay, all right. Who's your 5? Let's have 5.
All right.
Who's your 5?
You want to go? I got my 5 because I just did this the other day.
Top 5 what?
Your starting 5, right?
Oh,
Like
starting
your starting 5
Oh,
or
starting
top
5.
5?
Oh, I thought we were talking about like scoring 5.
Oh, scoring 5? Oh, I thought. Okay, all right. Well, give me a second then, because I thought you were talking. You said give me your 5.
Oh, if you got your top 5, I can hear that too.
I
Like,
had my starting 5, like what I would throw out there if I could pick anybody anytime. I just did this like 2 days ago.
Okay, do it. Let's hear it.
all right.
If you give me any player in their prime, the best player that they ever were, I'm taking Steph at my point guard.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know.
I'm taking MJ at the 2. I'm taking Kawhi at the 3.
Hey,
Giannis at the 4. And Shaq at the 5.
so if we're switching up lineups, like, okay, let me switch up like positions, like, because if that's the case, then my
Whose
lineup.
position would I have to switch? No, you can switch. If you want to put Brian at point, you can put Brian
Exactly.
at
So,
point. Yeah, that's all
like,
day.
if we doing that type of
all
okay, then that's different. I'm gonna go like, okay, like probably like. I seen a picture like this. It was like 9 people. You had like eliminate or like something like that. You had to eliminate one. I think it was like or bench one or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably go like no order like top 5 ever. So like
Top 5.
That's not my top 5 ever.
okay.
That's just my starting
Oh, your
five.
starting
If I
5.
had
Okay,
to-
starting 5. I'll
I
probably
would say
go
if I had to
LeBron, Jordan, of course. You got Kawhi, power forward. Damn, that's tough.
I was just close to picking Hakeem.
That's tough.
Yeah.
So like
But I had to pick Giannis. He's just a freak. He's
Giannis,
He's a freak. He's
and
just
then
a
I'll
freak.
probably pick like Hakeem maybe, or like yeah, probably Hakeem.
Yeah, I think. Well,
Because that's skillful.
I was
you got
just-
scoring.
I was just about to say.
You got defense.
We had this conversation not too long ago about the most skilled.
I mean, that's kind of just off the head. That's not me really like.
That's no
being-
real
yeah.
like. Yeah, I know.
That's
it's
kinda
not
just off the head, but, like-
yeah. What about you? What about you? Because I know he's about to say some blasphemous ass shit.
Okay.
He's about to put Raymond Felton as starting all-time point guard. I already know.
Hold on. All right. We're doing what? Top 5, or we're doing?
You're starting point guard. You're starting 5. You're
Yeah.
starting
5. I got Shaq. 4. Because I'm on the spot, I'm not gonna go with Hakeem. I'm not gonna go with Kareem, moving him to the 4, nothing like that. I'm going with Tim Duncan.
Oh, that's fair. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's how it is.
I got fucking athletes then.
Number 3, LeBron.
For
I'll
sure.
skip to point guard, Magic. And 2 is obviously I got Langston.
If I could have put a live bet on who he was gonna put in his 2,
That's
I
not
would've
big
put that
shit.
big.
Yo, have you ever seen a player?
Who's your 2 though?
Jordan.
Okay. Well, cause depending on who you want.
But I mean,
So who's your question though? Because he said Duncan and you instantly were like. Oh,
no, not like instantly, but like, alright, so like, what are you basing it off of? Like, what are you picking that off of? Like,
Winning.
Okay. So what do you pick
Tim
your
Duncan is I think he has one of the highest winning percentages as a player.
Yeah.
I
Or Kawhi or
think
something
it's
like that.
Kawhi and then him. I think Kawhi
So,
came out.
who do you got, like-
last year.
What do you pick your 4 as? Like,
I'm got Rudy at your 5, don't you?
No, yeah, Shaq. I'm basing mine off of not as much winning as much scoring, but I think all of the people that I have on my team are winners as well. But mine's about scoring. The reason why I put like Kawhi on my list as opposed to Brown, because if I'm gonna have a defensive liability in Steph, I'd like to upgrade more defensively somewhere else.
Well, I was gonna say, my team don't got no shooting.
Because we know what Jordan can do defensively, we know what Kawhi can do, and then you have Giannis and Shaq holding down the paint.
Yeah, okay.
Good. So because
this
instantly,
is like
I
injury.
want to put either Bron or KD above Kawhi just because of their
Which one?
scoring.
AD though. Is AD
Oh.
there?
Not at all.
But like, what do we? But no, hear me out though. What do we base this? That's what I'm saying. Like, what do we like basing it off of? Because like we like AD is in the. You can look it up in the playoffs is elite. Like but you add in the injury thing, so it's like,
Yeah.
damn, like. But we know he's elite on defense, and we know his offense is elite.
But is he better than Giannis? Because that would be.
I mean-
'cause I'm not switching him out for Shaq.
No, I'm saying
So, like,
that's what I'm saying.
it has to be
If Giannis is there, then you could definitely saying because Giannis is there, you could definitely tell me that AD is a conversation. Like,
Listen, I'm not saying that it's
See,
not a
I don't think
conversation.
about
what you're basically because you
I
said
just don't
when you
think it's
said
a close
when you
conversation.
said Giannis, he was like, yo, Giannis is a freak. But like when you're looking at AD, like he can like he was a point guard in high school, like and he's a point guard, and it's kind of like the opposite of Kyrie. He's a point guard in a big body, so it's like. He like when he's healthy, we know what he can do. He can do it, dribble up, take the ball up. Good playmaking, elite scoring, rebounding, and then you got the elite defense. Like, come on, like
Everything Giannis can do.
okay, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But you can bounce like
with maybe the exception of what the fuck are you doing?
Lucy Goose is on.
Oh,
Louis.
what the fuck you blowing Louis kisses
That's
for?
my baby. That's Lucy Goose. Shout out to Lou.
He's shot.
Louis.
I lost my whole train of thought. That just threw
I'm
me
like,
off
yo,
so
what?
bad. That just threw me off so bad. All right. Well, we got like hella off topic. We were talking playoff basketball now. So
That's why we said.
So y'all want to talk about the all NBA teams?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna assume is that when you got up right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
All right.
All right, so all NBA first team you got Devin
Wait.
Booker.
Do third first. Do
Third.
Yeah, do
All right, third.
Do
Third is kind of interesting. You got Chris Paul, Trae Young, LeBron, Pascal, and Cat.
I think that's reasonable. I don't disagree with that.
I mean,
My only issue is as good of a season as Bron had. If he wasn't eligible for scoring title, how can he be eligible for any NBA teams, right?
I mean, I think that it's the quotations are like different for each award.
Okay.
So like,
Okay.
so I think
So
like
then
you know
that's
like
fair then, because that's my only
MVP
issue.
and then
with
equal and shot. I think those are different games that you have to like. I think it's like 58 for like MVP or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
60. But
that. I think Bron only.
I mean, so yeah, I guess that's decent.
59.
Like, then you got second team. You got Steph, Ja, DeMar, Kevin Durant, and then Joel Embiid.
I feel like that's reasonable as well.
I think I think, man.
Cause like when you hear it first, then it's like you really like okay, like this is for me where I'm like nah, like it's like 2 or 3 maybe.
I was gonna say the only thing that I would like to change on second team is I genuinely think that Steph deserved first team.
No, we gotta put Kyrie at the first.
You suck. You fucking suck. You suck.
Low-key.
He said Loki.
If he had the time, if he was here all season, but no, that's for another time. That's for another time.
I don't like to walk off every show, but I might have to walk off after that one. Because, bruh, we're not about to...
Kyrie is him.
Okay, so let me
But
hear
he's
first team.
Okay, alright. Okay. Go ahead. Well, he's first team?
Oh yeah, first team. You got Devin Book, Luka, JT, Giannis, Jokic.
Yeah, I don't...
Wait, hold on.
What's
Did you say that one more time?
You got Devin Booker, Luka, Jason Tatum, Giannis, and Jokic.
Okay, I was about to say if Jason Tatum wasn't on that list, I was about to
Jason Tatum is definitely
I
there.
was about to
Me
tweet.
personally, like
I'm moving
how y'all feel about Devin and
Steph.
Ja though? Like,
You moving Booker down?
For Steph? Yes.
oh yeah, damn, Steph is. See, this is that's first hard for me to guard.
Steph over Booker this season, 100%.
But what about Ja? Ja has a great season. Like,
Yeah, second team's pretty good.
it is, but like
And if you looked at the whole second team,
he
he's
really
the highest one on the
low-key had an
second team other
MVP.
than
Like
Steph.
he had an MVP
He missed
conversation.
a lot of games.
No, without that's what I'm saying. Like, if he played the games, he was even then. Like,
Questionable. It was there.
Bro,
It was
look at
there.
LeBron's numbers.
oh yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying.
So if LeBron's
But
on the third
that's
team,
why I want to
put
get to
Ja
like
first.
that's why like with the first you got Jokic one MVP or whatever, but it's like how are we basing off the MVP? Like that's why I feel like the MVP award the mark
He
the
just
mark
wanted to come here and talk about the MVP.
Now listen, but the marks change
like.
like so you give it to
Nah,
like bro
nah.
come on now like
What do you think
you
should
gotta keep it like even so it's like he's a 6 like Jokic 6 seed like is he not
What?
Embiid not the MVP like
No.
he should have been
It
MVP
goes
or at least
based off of
co-MVP.
winning. and
Okay,
then
Embiid
you
had
go
that.
off of the statistics.
Okay, what's the stats? Like, are we going off of these advanced stats, or are we going off of like?
Joker had much better stats than Giannis and Embiid. And the truth about that is because if you look at rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, and points, add that number up, and add up Embiid's number with that, Jokic's is higher. Statistically, it is higher.
And all of his advanced stats.
Yeah, I was saying the
and
advanced
all of his
stats are higher
advanced
too,
stats.
but if you just go off of that right there, the point blank box score, Jokic is higher.
I mean, but who's going off? Of, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't like to go off of like
We
box
can't
score.
say
Like,
because every
'cause, like,
person
you
who
could, like-
votes takes other things into account.
exactly. That's why, like, I feel like it should be voted by the players. Like,
And who were the players?
Former players have votes though, and
no, I'm saying I'm not talking about these cold. Cause like, bro,
Just don't
for
let
example,
that
like, there's
bias vote.
a Cole, this host in like Houston or whatever, he said like he hates Jalen Green or something like that, and he's a voter. Like, so it's like it's mad bias. Like, what if like eventually like in Jalen Green's contract or whatever, like he gets like an incentive like where he had to like make a certain amount of all NBA teams or whatever, something like that.
Yeah,
so it's like
but
when you have voters like that, but when you look at it, mostly players are saying like Embiid should have got it. Like
First
for
off,
example,
bro, what?
for example, is Kevin Durant has a very respectable opinion, right? Superstar,
We just talked
like
about
top
that.
3 or whatever, right?
Okay.
What he say? Like he said,
Bro.
for him to win back-to-back MVPs, he feels like you had to like really like top your last MVP, like you feel me? So it's like you feel me? He said the numbers shouldn't be like kind of like similar. So it's like,
Oh,
what are you talking about?
two things. That's blasphemous.
How?
Because you don't have to top the previous year. It's about that season. The MVP of that season, not what you did
let's
prior.
compare what they did. Let's compare what Jokic and Embiid did. Like, are we talking about stat? Because you said look at the box score. So,
Yes.
but are we comparing like?
Yes.
Okay, like when you look at
That's
box
what I
score.
mean.
Can
I
somebody
said
pull up the
it.
numbers? Can somebody pull
Let's
up
pull
my
the
phone's
numbers.
up there? Can somebody pull up the numbers because
And then the second thing is,
we gotta
what was the last thing you just said?
Oh, it's up there.
Well, yeah. 'Cause the-
What was the last thing you just said?
Well, like about what? Like
Whatever this last thing you just said.
I feel like personally when it comes to like the MVP, like I feel like it should be decided by like okay, like when you factor in everything both teams have. Okay, he has to get Mr. MPJ and Jamal Murray, like, and that definitely plays a factor. And on top of the numbers he had, but it's like he was 6 seed. Embiid, even without Ben Simmons, he was still like up there. He was right there competing with Bucks, defending champs. So it's like Like, you have to factor in both. And I'm not saying, okay, yes, he added James Harden in the second half of the season, but Embiid was still playing at this high clip. He missed those games. I think what really sealed it for Jokic is like the last like 3 games. I think he lost it Giannis, and this is when it was really close. Like, people was even throwing Giannis in there or whatever. I think he lost to Giannis and Jokic, and I think somebody else in the MVP race. And that's why I think really sealed it for Jokic personally. Like, I feel like if B would have won those games, he didn't really step up. He had bad games in those. I feel like that was really the deciding factor. So I ain't gonna say that, like, but I feel like you can't go wrong though. Like, my whole point with this is like you can't go wrong. I feel like it's not like for you to say like, oh, Jokic is blasphemous, or me to say, you to say Jokic is blasphemous, or you gotta say Embiid.
Let me just. This is why it's so blasphemous, not because of who you choose, because if you're saying having the players vote, we just talked about this. Do you remember Isaiah Thomas wasn't on the Dream Team because the players decided? Because if we're going off of who should have been on it, he should have been on it.
Okay.
The players have biases on motherfuckers they don't like, just like.
I was just gonna say,
vote.
God forbid Patrick Beverly ever got a vote.
Yeah, Chris Paul.
Yeah, that's not making sense. Like, of course, there's gonna be flaws, but I feel like personally, like that's why exactly. So for example, like me personally, I feel like the game should be based off of it's like how you don't like sports podcasts because they just talk about bullshit or whatever. Like, I feel like the people. Okay, but like
we got his work back.
No, I'm saying other
they're
people,
directly involved. They're
directly
directly involved players. That's why they shouldn't be able to vote. They're literally directly.
Okay, so what about former players then?
Yeah, that's
all right.
Just
okay, so yeah, former players would be better then.
Yeah,
okay.
but
they're Jalen Rose, I think, has one of the most well-respected opinions in terms of former players, like him and like Steven Jackson. I think they both have very good.
JJ Redick.
Same. Oh my God, that's JJ Redick. Shout out JJ Redick. He's been fucking killing it on ESPN, and he's got his own little podcast that he does. But yeah, so like.
Shout out to Stephen A. I know keeping him humble.
I know for a fact that Jalen Rose has a vote. I don't know if Steven Jackson has one, nor do I know if JJ Redick has one. But players like that because you can't when you look at Jalen Rose's career, he never really did nothing crazy to have a chip on his shoulder, oh well, I went to the finals, so if you don't go to the final, you know what I mean, So I feel like you can't give it to just all former players. They have to have either be in the media or have notable reputable opinions.
Yeah. So
I
mean that's what I'm saying. Former NBA players, I feel like should all be the. Yeah. I mean recent players. I'm not talking
Yeah, no, not the old first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Shows that's corny, but I'm talking former NBA.
Charles Barkley should never.
Yeah,
be able to talk basketball.
Players like that. Boom.
He's funny, but they only have him on there because he's controversial. He really does not be speaking facts.
Who?
Charles Barkley.
Oh yeah, this is a good time.
He's just I think he knows stuff about certain things. Yeah. In terms of player relationship or stuff like that, but Charles Barkley.
I think Charles is the only one on that freaking panel who's willing to be critical on players.
Controversial.
No, critical. He is the one who will say, this dude didn't show up, he played like a bum. Charles is willing to say that.
No, I think that's Shaq too.
If anything, Shaq does.
Shaq did that. That's the all sense.
Maybe it's not as vocal as
Shaq is harsh with it.
Yeah, but Chuck's
animated.
He struggled. He knows he struggled.
You know Chuck's talking. Chuck kind of just be, just be out there just talking to his.
That's not. No, I just okay. So Tom misspelled what he said first. He fixed it now. He said, "What do you guys think about just statics to making the call for MVP?" He meant statistics, meaning no vote, just straight leading of statistics, so that players know that's how you win it. It can make it a lot more competitive. The reason that's a problem is because now people will be stat chasing.
Yeah.
Like Joey says LeBron did, which I disagree with, but
towards the end of the season,
I don't think stat padding is really a thing because it's
Oh no, it definitely.
For you to stat pad, you have to be.
It definitely is.
Well,
definitely.
What do you mean by stat pad though? Because stat pad, I feel like you have to be in the league. People say, anybody can do it. People say anybody can stat pad, but that's not true. That's not really true when you really get down to it. So it's
when you really get down to it,
I don't think it's stat padded.
No, I know what you're saying. You have to be elite because you can't just go get buckets.
Obviously, fucking
exactly. So it's
Eric Gordon's not going out there and stat pad.
For him to make the claim LeBron stat pad, I would believe it in terms of he's capable of doing it, but I don't think he was doing it.
LeBron, I didn't say he was stat padding. I said he was boosting his points per game numbers.
That's stat padding.
But it's not over. It's not. When we think stat padding, we think Russell Westbrook chased his triple doubles. We're thinking
that's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different conversation.
We're thinking like overall stat padding.
Yeah.
I'm saying like that, and this is just a conversation that.
What do you mean, like staying in games longer? Or
No. Well, yeah. I watched literally like 5-6 minute clip of their 15, 20 games towards the end of the season before LeBron got hurt and closed out the season, where they were losing games. Where if he was questioning his health, he should have sat. But he wasn't sitting. He was staying in games late while they were losing, asking for the ball, bringing it up, going to get layups to improve his points per game.
I mean, but if that's true, then he could have came in that one game and played. Because like at the end of the season, he still had a chance to get. He came in that one game and played.
But then it looks bad because then like you only play that one
exactly.
game. But they didn't make the playoffs. But then you go back and play that. So like he couldn't do that. He couldn't do that as easy as it is for.
But you think what he would have like?
He gets dragged in the media for everything that he does. You think that he would want to put that on himself? No way. He's way too smart.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I agree.
So that's why he shut it down. But if he played, he knew at some point if he played one more game, then he would have got it. So maybe he shut it down a little too early, and maybe he thought like, okay,
we'll make
a push, and then I'll play the last 3 games, and we're that close. But they weren't that close, so then he shut it down.
Okay, so wait, hold on.
But that was like a whole like way like out there different. Like we weren't even talking about Brian stat pad. I don't even remember.
Okay, but listen. We're at an hour.
Already?
We need to talk football because we got a lot of shit to talk about.
Football. Oh yeah.
Today's the day, Joe. Today's the day we have this conversation.
About what?
About Lamar Jackson. Oh God.
Oh yeah.
It's about that time.
My boy. All right. So what you guys say about Lamar? I'm gonna
tell you
let it soak in. I'm gonna think about that.
And I hate the media. I hate the media. And let me tell you why. I saw a list yesterday. Top quarterbacks under 25. Lamar was 5th.
Oh.
2 years ago, they would have had him as number 1. Or number 2 behind Mahomes. He don't make the playoffs 1 year and now he drops that far. Media's shot.
Yeah.
But this is the problem with Lamar.
I'm about to shit on this whole thing. Keep going.
Regular season, Lamar's the top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I don't hesitate saying that. Playoffs, I'd rather have Baker Mayfield.
Hey, yo, what?
Oh, I'd rather have Baker Mayfield.
I ain't gonna lie.
Listen, and it's sad because I like Lamar Jackson, but do you know Baker's won just as many playoff games as Lamar Jackson has? Would you believe me if I told you that?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. You just gotta Baker. Nah.
And it's sad to say because Lamar's way more talented than Baker.
You can say Baker like, nah.
It's the truth.
So you're just like, nah.
It's the truth.
You're fucking shot.
I'm taking.
Does anybody want my spot on this show?
Over like Baker. Like look what like Lamar's at. Look where like come on.
Like, you're saying in playoffs, Baker went to the playoffs once and won 1 game. Lamar's been 3 times
and won 1 game. You're making my argument.
But what does that mean though? He's been more times
and lost more times. Continue.
But what does that mean though? He's still been more times. He lost to good teams. Yeah.
You're not acting like he
might have no, because his thing is that he underperformed in the losses. Yeah, he might have underperformed, but he still got there. He still got his team there.
Okay.
And so at what point do you stop valuing actually getting your team to the playoffs?
That's a fact. Like we look at him
as the
not.
Rodgers rule. Okay, he does great in the regular season, but I don't give a shit because if it doesn't bring me a ring, what does it matter?
You can't win the ring every year though.
But you can compete for one,
and you can continuously get better.
Lamar,
they had no running backs last year, and then he got hurt.
Last year. Who cares about last year? They didn't even make the playoffs.
But he made the playoffs the year before that.
And that's what we can talk about. What happened against Buffalo?
You're saying that like it's not fucking Buffalo, like they weren't the fucking second best team in the fucking league that year. Okay. You give them the ball in overtime, they win that game. Stop playing me, bro.
That year they got blown out in the playoffs. Just relax.
Against who? That was 2 years ago.
Yes. Just listen. What I'm saying is he put up 3 points against Buffalo. Okay?
Mhm.
Elite quarterbacks do not put up 3 points in games in the playoffs. That's the truth.
I hate having this debate
Because
with you, bro, because you're
there is
so
no
biased. You're so
argument.
biased, bro.
I want to hear what you got because I'm giving you
biased.
all facts. No opinion. I'm giving you the facts about Lamar and what he's done.
Okay, so I want you to give the facts about Baker because it's like.
Okay, this was never a Baker argument. I just brought up Baker because we know how mediocre Baker is, and he's won just as many playoff games as Lamar.
So what is the general argument then? Because we got it's like
Lamar Jackson is one of the worst playoff quarterbacks in the league.
I mean, you got
That's what I've said.
It's been 3 times. He's got 1 win. He's 24. I'll say that louder for the camera. He's been 3 times. He's got 1 win, 3 losses, and he's 24. Stop fucking playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me. Yeah, his game's not going to translate for him to play at least 42. But the kid's young, like he's young as fuck.
Yeah, I understand.
And he's already been.
All the best quarterbacks right now are all young.
I don't know why the fuck he even mentioned Baker. That was just.
Burrow's
So what
on
was
one
it? It was
time.
the
That
top
was
5
just
quarterbacks?
Yeah, you just said Burrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burrow's gonna be top 5 quarterback in the league in 2 years. That's not a question.
My thing on my 5 is like the 5, like because I don't really know. Like I probably got like you got Josh, you got Pat.
No. Do it in order.
Five,
That's the
5 to
argument.
1. 5 to
Oh,
1.
5 to 1.
5 to 1.
Alright, so
Always, always bottom to top.
that's tough.
Cause we just did this on our last one, so they already know.
They know.
I'm trying to think.
Shot. I don't know.
Cause I used to have like, damn, that's tough. All right, so I got. Damn.
Probably got.
You want us to tell you our list?
Yeah, give me
All right,
some
my
names.
my list was Stafford at 5, Brady at 4, Rodgers at 3, just me being biased, Mahomes at 2, Allen at 1.
All right, one more time.
Stafford, Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen.
Okay. Are we basing this just off of last year or just who we know that player is?
I'm thinking what we're basing it off of, Swizz, is I would say that we're basing it off of like going into the season. Who's the best quarterback? Who's the best 5 in the
Right
league
now
going
today.
into the season? Yeah. Well, that would still be going into the season.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'd probably go. All right, so you had Stafford.
You could.
I mean,
yeah,
I'd probably switch.
You could like Tone came on like he had Russell Wilson in his 5. I think me and you had the same 5 just in a different order, right?
AJ had Herbert.
Yeah, AJ had Herbert in his.
What about Burrow?
Like, well, that's what I'm saying. You can put Burrow, you can put Herbert.
I want to put Burrow in there, but it's like, what would I take out though? Like,
I don't think like he just lost.
You could always take out Rodgers.
yeah, I would probably take out Rodgers. Low-key, I ain't gonna lie.
You'd be a dumbass if you took Rodgers out of your top 5.
I'm dead. Only because you a Packers fan, right?
You'd be out of your fucking mind if you
Bro,
took
I'm
Rodgers
telling
out of
you,
your
like,
top
keep like,
5.
bro.
Keep it a buck.
You said going into this season,
Keep
like,
it
so
buck.
it's like
Keep it a buck.
Joey is
Keep it a buck.
and he got keep it in. What does all Joe need? Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Where you went? We're gonna say that he's better than Rodgers now?
I'm not saying he's better than Rodgers. No, I'm not saying that. But like right now, going into the next season, like what do we like?
I can't even breathe.
He went right to the Super Bowl. Like,
You
bro,
guys are ready to
bro,
see me die.
Aaron lost in his like climate. In his like, I think Jimmy Jimmy Garoppolo never played in under like 30 degrees or something like that. Like it was snowing. It was Aaron
Rodgers
like,
is cursed by the 49ers.
bro, fuck, if we talk about curses, Bill's gonna curse that old ass stadium they got. So it's like, what we talking
Aaron
about?
Rodgers is cursed by the 49ers, but they didn't draft him, and it's just he's just kind of
Like, come on, bro. Jimmy Garoppolo, none of them ever played under 30 degrees. Like, come on, bro. So it's like.
So you're taking Rodgers off and putting.
Oh, that's hard. So I mean, I agree with your 5. I'll probably. Yeah, I never got Josh.
Wait, is Lamar in your 5?
Nah.
He's an MVP, right? He's an MVP.
Nah, but we talking about like, nah. You know.
No, but he was the MVP, so he should be the top 5.
And
right?
not for nothing. We did this list, and you know who I totally forgot about going in when we did this list?
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson. is a top 5 quarterback in this league.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh
God. God. I'm taking Rodgers out for Deshaun Watson.
Listen,
10 times out of 10.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If I had to,
keep it real.
Don't you dare take out the dude who just won the Super Bowl.
Listen. If I had to, personally, I would want to take out Stafford. But if you look at it realistically, you should take out Rodgers. But I'll acknowledge that. I'll acknowledge that. You should take out Rodgers.
Exactly.
But in my list, we're taking out Tom Brady.
That's low-key not a bad one too.
We're taking out Tom Brady.
Not a bad one too. I'm not gonna lie.
We're taking out Tom Brady for sure. But I'm glad that I said that now though, because I want everybody to know I do believe Deshaun.
But Josh is everybody's one though.
I think he had Mahomes at 1.
You got Mahomes at 1?
No.
Josh?
I got Brady at 1.
Oh, he's got Brady.
Is he actually serious though?
Yeah, no,
Nobody
I
can
remember
beat
some.
Brady.
I remember some. Well, clearly, the Rams did.
Nobody can beat Brady.
Matt Stafford did. So
Nobody.
He could definitely. If we're going off of that, then
Nick Foles can.
Brady, until he retires, is number 1.
Nah.
Unless this season comes out and he has an absolute atrocious year.
I can't get down with that.
I'm taking Brady.
I definitely can't get.
Then I got Mahomes at 2.
Hey, yo,
Josh at 3.
See, you lost me.
I got Josh at 3. I got Watson at 5 and Stafford at 4 then. Stafford has to be ahead of Watson because Stafford has done more.
Yo, wild. I ain't gonna lie. Josh is definitely like.
Oh, I listen. Anybody who puts Mahomes over Josh Allen, I understand why you would, but I value leadership more than because Patrick Mahomes might have that much more throwing talent, literally that much more.
I don't even think it's that. I think honestly, when you think about it, Josh is like.
Josh got a better deep threat.
He got a better deep threat.
But run. I don't think he throws on the run better than Patrick Mahomes.
Bro, Patrick Mahomes just put a little pretty package on it, like.
Nah, but he's very accurate with it. Where I went to 4 Bills games, bro. Josh Allen, he's not as accurate. He's just not as accurate on the run. And I said it at the first Bills game that not the first one, the second one.
Well, when I'm comparing all around games,
I said I wish
you got you, Josh.
I would take him too, but again, it's not based off of anything but his leadership. Patrick Mahomes is not on the sideline yelling at people, getting them amped up. Josh Allen is that guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying the opposite.
That's why I'm taking Allen first. But I understand why people would put Mahomes at 1 because, like I said, if there is a slight edge in anything, it might be throwing, and Patrick Mahomes has it. I think a little bit, but again, it's all about what you value.
Also targets.
I'm biased because I value winning. That's what I value because I feel like that's what we're all trying to do.
Yeah, but sometimes and football is way different though too.
Yeah, because there's a lot of context.
It's not basketball. It's not basketball. Not a single person on a football field can literally do it by themselves. Where basketball, like you saw Bron score 25 points straight in double OT against the Pistons.
Again, and you know me, I'm big on football. I take everything in consideration. If I know a team is garbage and they just have a good quarterback, I'm not going to put that on the quarterback. Like Russell Wilson last season had no line, and he was in the best division in the league. Like. It's going to be tough to make the playoffs when you got the Cardinals who started off crazy out the gates, the Super Bowl champ Rams, and then the 49ers who went to the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here putting anything past it. But again, Mahomes had a good team last year. Brady had a good team last year. Bills had a good team. You know what I'm saying? Like, aside from them, they had good teams, good rosters.
Yeah.
When you look at Miami, they have a great roster with no quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's teams that have good rosters with that. Like the Chargers have a good quarterback and a good roster, and they underachieved. I think it's safe to say that. They have playmakers on defense, playmakers on offense, a really good young quarterback, but it shouldn't have been that close. They're coaching. If they don't make the playoffs this year, they need to fire that coach.
Yeah.
He has to go because they have too good of a team and too much talent and potential right now in these prime years to not be at least making the playoffs.
We weren't at time. I just wanted to see.
So that's
I think I will.
But the Rodgers had a great team this year.
I told you last week or 2 weeks ago that I'll give you that this was absolutely Aaron Rodgers' year that he was supposed to win.
Exactly.
He had the best defense he's ever
Tone,
had.
watch your mouth.
They're the best defense he's ever had.
He says, I don't know why Matt Stafford is just thrown in the top 5 so easily now. Because it was his first year out of that bum-ass organization in Detroit, and he won the Super Bowl. Watch your damn mouth.
He's responsible for the top 2 receiving seasons of all time.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
End of discussion.
Those are all-time talents, too, though.
Ashamed.
Those are all-time talents, though.
Megatron is, but is Cooper Kupp really an all-time talent?
One great year, now he's all-time
I
talent.
wouldn't say
Have you no shame?
I have.
But he's.
Have you no respect for all these great receivers?
But I'm a person that thinks this is with both sports. So I think I take like perception and like predicting where that player is gonna go. Like
Here Tony go. Here he goes.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that's all I think on, but it definitely plays a part though, because it's like you have to factor that in.
This year,
because it's like that goes to the wide receiver conversation. So it's like that's a whole different thing. Like,
but Megatron is like just different. Like
oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, no, they're not nowhere close. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like, yeah, that's
okay. I get what you're saying.
And again, it doesn't mean that he doesn't have the potential to be that.
Yeah.
But
Potential.
I
That's
need a little bit more consistency.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And again, not longevity. I'm not saying longevity, but I'm saying for me, like there's a lot of guys, rookies, that'll come out and play out of this world, but then they'll hit a wall. They'll have a slump.
You can say about
like Jamar Chase. If he comes out this year and puts up the same numbers or similar, now I can start saying, okay, this dude is for real.
Yeah, but everybody.
Last year that don't mean nothing to me.
Nah.
A lot of rookies come out and
not like that. That was like a very like.
Justin Jefferson, now that's the.
I was just about to bring that up too.
He had 2 great years.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so like Jamar Chase,
he's putting up these numbers.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like, and I like Chase, and I'm not saying he's not gonna, but I'm just saying I gotta see it first because we're so quick in the media and just in life, people that talk sports to just this dude is.
That's recency bias though. Like, so it's like
that's what I'm saying. It's the reason, like we said, like Kawhi. No one's talking about Kawhi in top 5 players right now because he hasn't been playing. Kawhi is a top 5 player.
Exactly. So it's like then people
if you're not biased, if you
exactly.
actually look at paper, he's top 5,
mm-hmm.
and that's why. The media bothers me so much because it's
that's why
you're bandwagoning of what's hot right now.
So why is like Kyrie
looking
like a villain?
Has 2 championships with 2 different teams. One of the teams was Kaka, and just because he's hurt now.
That's what I'm saying. Like we gotta like. I think in both sports, you gotta like look at the players gotta get more support within like I go like between both sports. Actually, I think the NFL like they need like the players need to like come together more like. I feel like
the NBA does a good job of that. I think
because it's like it goes to the contracts and all that too. So it's like in the NBA, players like they have more say so with their contracts than the NFL players do. So it's like
right. No, that is a fact.
Like that the NBA has like a players association and shit like that. Like one of the players is president. Like so you really get like the real opinions and shit like that. So it's like so I think that's what stops like NFL players from really like step. Like I think NFL players need more power within like their contracts and things of that nature because it's like NFL players be getting this shady like.
Oh no, that is a fact. That is a fact. But it's just at that point it's just the name of the game until they change it.
Yeah.
You know what you're signing up for until it gets changed. All right. Well,
we all can agree that Nixon's 7 for sure.
Nah.
He's nah.
I don't even know what y'all should do with Julius Randle for. Like, what do you think you should do?
Get rid of him. I think we should keep him.
Rid of him.
Like,
I think we should keep him, and I think
that should. I don't know. That's hard.
Get rid of him.
What's your plan though?
Trade him while he's still
if it's me,
for
I think we need. And I've been saying this. We need a point guard, and I think that if there was a way that we could get either Damian Lillard or
this one's even worse. This one's even worse. This one's even worse.
What?
I know who you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Donovan Mitchell? Who'd you think I was gonna say?
The other day we talked about y'all getting Chris Paul and I almost threw my phone across him.
I would love Chris Paul on the Knicks.
Oh no.
But he's not a long-term solution. I think Donovan Mitchell or Dame could use a change of scenery. And I think the Knicks, having Thibodeau, he's a disciplined coach. And he's a defensive coach. And you bring in guys who are already offensive talented. That's the problem right now. Thibodeau cannot develop guys offensively. That's not his strong suit. So if you bring in an already established scorer, the defensive culture will help that side of the ball. And now you bring this guy who can score. Kemba was a joke.
What about
What
about Zion?
Randall again. They're not developing over there because how come everyone knows he's only going to go left, and that's never changed. But people keep saying it. The media says it. The players know it because they're shifting them that way. to go right, but he's not going to because he refuses. If they had good offensive coaches, they would have already fixed that. They have not. That's the problem with Randall. He only goes one way. He only has one hand. What'd you just say? I'm sorry.
I think you should. I think y'all should like get rid of him. Like, and I think like because I think.
What are we gonna get for him after the season he just had?
I mean, I'm pretty sure you package some. There's a pretty good like I'm not off the top of my head, but like I'm pretty sure you could package something like. Because I think Zion's about to be a free agent or he's about to be eligible for a contract or something like that. The other team can
He just said he wants to stay in New Orleans.
Okay, he did say that. But I mean, if you're the Knicks, I think y'all should make a push.
If he gets the chance to play with
RJ Barrett, like they have that brotherhood shit,
and
we know what Zion is. Zion is one of like.
They're talking about shit that came out already. But listen,
that'd be the shit.
That's another thing. You guys are so dumb. Thibodeau was dumb for that. Cam Reddish.
Thibodeau, he made a lot of coaches.
I'm hoping we get real on that. Like they're bugging for that because Cam Reddish is an elite. Like I don't know. Okay, elite might be dragged. Like he's a really great like talent, and what you guys did was worse than what the Hawks did.
Okay, but I'm saying Atlanta wasn't playing him either. Yes, Atlanta I think had a better roster, so that made more sense. But let me tell you this: the best package I've seen right now for Randall was a 3-team trade. I don't know if either one of you saw this. The Knicks trade Fournier and Randall, and he goes to, I want to say, Chicago. The Lakers get Levine, and the Knicks get Russell Westbrook.
Oh, you like that trade?
That's the best I've seen, and that's bad.
No, I think that's a good trade. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
for who?
Because now 2 starters for Westbrook, and you gotta eat his contract.
No, I think you guys get picks with that too.
Oh yeah, it comes with picks.
So like them picks, like
it would be great for the team and the city.
Because I don't think you really like
the cloud would be
how
great.
close do you want to keep coming? Like I think you guys still need like an extra push. So it's like how long are we gonna keep waiting for that extra like?
If
all
we
right,
do
let's
that,
be a contender.
if we make that move, we need shooting. That's the problem.
Okay.
Because we have no
but I
shooters.
think what Westbrook comes with, it's like he brings everything that you guys.
Westbrook's doing
You guys
what
he brings some more excitement because we seen we seen what he did prior to being in the Lakers. I think the Lakers is a whole different situation, but he brings that excitement back to the arena. We know what home court can do and things of that nature. So I think he's a vet. He has experience. We got a lot of young players. You're going to get more young players. And then once he goes away, then if these players develop into, then you have room for these contracts and keeping the all-around team. So it's kind of like, think of it like the Suns, but they're about to let Ayton go. So it's like they have a very good all-around. When you look at the Suns, you're like, they're okay, like they're a very good team because they're all-around great. Like they have bench players who can give you 25 a night, but then, like zero like when they're not needed. So I think the Knicks have a chance to do something like that. And then you get, with Zion, you get everything. So it's like.
We all can agree,
proposed trade that I wanted.
We all can agree, though.
I mean, I said Westbrook.
The Knicks are dog shit, though, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
We can agree.
Tell them what I said about the Boston Knicks trade.
He wanted Celtics in 6. Anyways,
Which is wait. James Harden has that hammy issue. I'm telling you, like.
Fuck James Harden. I'm not worried about
I'm telling you, James. I'm telling you, that hammy is something serious.
I'm not worried about James Harden.
Watch. He's gonna come back killing. I want my flowers.
He wanted to trade Randall for what was it? Horford and Grant Williams and Nick Stauskas.
No, Nick Stauskas.
No,
Nick Stauskas.
Payton Pritchard. Sorry, Payton Pritchard. The other way player.
Did he?
But then he tells me, he goes, if we make that trade, Grant instantly becomes a starter, and then we got Payton Pritchard coming in 6-man or starting point guard.
Yeah,
and he was happy about that. Payton Pritchard starting point guard.
He's so underrated defensively.
Nah, Payton's nice. He's
his shooting. That's what we need.
That's true, but I'm saying
we have no shooters.
Starting point guard on the Knicks.
We lost Reggie Bullock.
Because you gotta think. I'm telling you, it's like the Lakers and the Knicks. Those two specific teams, you have to show up or look how they're treating Randall. Like he had a great year, and then it's kind of so it's he's shitting that big market. Those big market teams, you really have to it's a whole nother side of just being a good enough player.
Bro, stop touching me, bro. So y'all can't see him under his table. He keeps grabbing on my kneecaps.
I ain't touching. Weirdo. I ain't touching.
Weirdo.
So it's same way I feel about Westbrook. So
bro,
I feel like
keep touching me, bitch.
So I kind of lost track of it right there.
No, Westbrook, you're right, but I think that Grant Williams would bring the 3-and-D.
Oh yeah, not
shooting.
Grant Williams.
No.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm just talking about the trade in general.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the trades.
I think because then Boston would get a big 3. a big four
With
for
who?
Marcus Smart. Randall.
Oh yeah. That's.
Because Randall.
I mean, like, how many more? I mean, that could like be elite for the Celtics, but I think you guys really.
They don't.
That.
No,
because
they
that's
don't
like.
want. They don't want to get rid of Horford, bro. Horford's
Nah. Oh yeah, Horford goes. Yeah, nah.
Horford's pat. Like I'm saying, Horford.
Horford's past his prime, but he's
No. I'm not saying that. I didn't mean. I misspoke. How many more years does Horford have? I'm saying they get Randall. He's already under contract. Randall with Brown, Tatum, and Smart. They would dominate the
Too many mouths to feed. Too many mouths to feed.
No, because Randall.
I think the Celtics need.
Been doing with the Knicks.
But the Celtics need is a playmaker. The Celtics get a playmaker. I swear to God, they'll be like.
Nah, but you see what though? People low key sleep on Marcus Smart as a playmaker.
Nah, it is, but it's like
game 6 or 7 against Milwaukee. He ended with like 12, 13 assists.
Sure.
Like he definitely.
He got great.
Granted, you could definitely upgrade.
Yeah.
But you don't want to lose Marcus Smart defensively.
I think like off season, like yeah.
So you can't trade him out after having a point like that. There's no way you ship him out because they were talking about shipping him out halfway through the season when they were below 500. Like, oh, is Marcus Smart the reason why? No. And they go get Derek White. Now, granted, Derek White's not a great ball handler, but he's better than whoever else that they had coming in. So I think that honestly is what made the difference for them. But yeah, Marcus Smart. I think people sleep on his passing, his court vision, IQ, everything like that. Because to be that good defensively, it definitely has to correlate a little bit on offense in terms of like just knowing the game of basketball.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Having that IQ.
And can I have some credit for calling Marcus Smart out of college?
Oh, I will give you that credit because Swizz has definitely been following Marcus Smart since college. That is a fact. I will give.
And I don't watch a lot.
That's how I felt with Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
There's only a couple. Grant Williams and Marcus Smart are the only two college players I followed heavily in college that actually panned out in the NBA. Because I'm a Syracuse fan. Nobody's.
I got a couple since I watched since high school. Like you got Miles Bridges. I watched him since high school.
I watched Trae Young in high school.
Yeah, Trae Young.
Nice.
Anthony Edwards. Matter of fact, Tyrese Maxey. I watched him AAU basketball tournaments. That's my dog. Like for me, like.
Yeah, Stanley.
76ers. I'm telling you, watch out for the 76ers.
Them boys are.
Nah, I'm telling you, bro.
Yo, I promise you, I say this without hesitation. If they give Harden the Supermax,
we're not giving him the Supermax.
They're not even making it his top 5 seed in the East.
That's not. Nah, he's not getting Supermax for sure. I've been said that.
You guys need to keep Thibault.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why I wanted to keep him. In any trades, I wanted to keep him because it's like I feel like his offense can definitely improve, but that's something you can easily improve. He's an elite defender. Like he's on a shutdown elite like point guard Steph Curry. Like come on. So it's like you can fix his offense, you can fix his shooting, whatever. So it's like he has potential to be a very elite 3-and-D player.
I don't think it's that easy to fix it, but I think either.
I ain't gonna say it's that easy, but I think
either way,
it's
when he brings defensively, he's still
exactly
he's still a good enough player that I think that they should not
keep.
deal him out.
Yeah, definitely.
So can we shift gears to some more serious stuff because we're at 1:30.
Of course.
I think before we get to the mental health aspect of the show, so I'm not going to leave that conversation at all.
I don't think I can leave it either, but I will.
We need to take a moment and just understand and kind of reflect and take just like a moment of silence, sort of, because we didn't have the show last week. And I hate that Buffalo gets in the national media for something like this. Because all the celebrities have been in Buffalo, there's been all this stuff, which is great because it's a time of need, but it's unfortunate the circumstances that this stuff has to happen. But there was some crazy guy, some crazy 8 to 18-year-old.
Yeah, I don't think we really got to talk about it all type of crazy though. If you want to,
No, I just think that it's worth bringing up because.
Right. No, it definitely is worth bringing up.
But yeah, I mean, the tragedy that the city had to go through. So I just wanted to, I don't know. I was just thinking about it. Just got me all like, I don't even know how that could happen, because you never think it's gonna happen in your area until it does. You know what I'm saying? Like we would have never thought, Buffalo was gonna be the place that some crazy shit like this happened. So, I just want to say rest in peace to all the people who lost their lives in the tragedy, and hopefully we keep saying that things will finally change because it's gone on too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Things gotta change. Like, I think it has to be something. There has to be a complete change, like from both sides. Like, because he came in there thinking that like black people and Latinos and stuff like that were trying to like replace the white race. So it's others like them out there. So it's like it's and if they would have like ran a background check, like he had a mental health evaluation like last year, which would have flagged it. So it's like him buying those guns. So I feel like for something to really change, it has to be more than just Facebook debates, things of that nature. I think it has to be people really realizing that that how do I say it, that it's just like black people are put at a certain pedestal where it's like you once you're born, you kind of like things are already harder than white people. So it's like there is a white, like, I don't know if you guys believe in it, but white privilege is a thing, So it's like, and the higher ups, the people who really control this, they don't really think that's a thing. So it's like the system is built against black people. So it's like and it breeds a lot of hate. The system, things are put on the media. So cause this kid, he said he just one day he was looking up on websites and he found a white terrorist, not terrorist group, a hate group or something like that.
He just started reading.
Yeah,
that's all he said is the influence. So he just started reading. So we got to get all that shit off of the internet. It's just sad, bro. It's just sad, and I'm just gonna. I don't want to speak on it, too much, as you guys already did. But I agree that it's definitely got to be more than Facebook debates, celebrities coming out. It's got to be.
Then Congress does nothing. Then it's people are quiet. Then another shooting. Then,
it's got to be
there's just shooting. There's just shooting in Texas.
Just today.
Yeah, 14 kids.
Yeah,
so
14 Hispanic kids.
But again, and to get to I feel like I know where you're going with this. So to help you in terms of the terminology is. There can be new laws, there could be, things in place, all of these things, but I think it's really, there needs to be a full-on change in people's hearts, a genuine change of heart. And like you said, the way that black people are looked at is, I just don't understand. I don't understand it, but I just think that it has to come from inside, and there just needs to be a serious change. I mean, how many laws that we could keep putting restrictions on laws, but people aren't actually changing.
Yeah.
It's always something, you know what I'm saying? They'll find a way. It's disgusting. But I just wanted you could go to mental health now.
Well, we, like you said, we didn't have the show last week. Basically, that's why we didn't have the show. You know what I mean? Felt that it was better to take the week off, let everybody rest, and get right mentally. So that I think that's and we had to talk about it. So I'm glad that we did. So. The big thing that we do here on the show, obviously you're a day one fan, obviously, so you know this. We do mental health, check-in basically every show. Mental health is not talked about nearly enough in general, let alone men's mental health specifically.
Yeah.
Being a man, and I go on this rant every time, but you're a new guest, so being a man, you're told that you have to have this exterior, you can't show emotions, whatever the case may be. So we like to get other people's opinions on their mental health because sometimes it's good to hear other people's perspectives on how they deal with it and how they don't fall under the normal of being a man and holding in your emotions. Because everybody, even if we don't show it, everybody has a way of dealing with it. I love when Dom came on and he was like, I really don't care about my mental health and I kind of just deal with it and I kind of just sit and just do whatever. So we always like to get that perspective. So is there anything specifically that you do to kind of if you're having a bad day, if you're in your thoughts, if you're fighting with your girl, lost your job, whatever it is there anything specifically that you like to do to get your mind right mentally?
I usually just do things that, can, I gotta express myself or feel what I'm feeling through something else. So it's I either do music or I do, I like to write. I like to read, so I read articles, read books, or whatever it may be. Or I like to debate about a lot of things. So, because when I debate, I don't look to really win a debate. I look to learn more than you can, speak. So that's why I may sit back quiet and respond. So definitely that. Then where's I going with that? What was the question again?
What do you do to
okay. So reading. Writing, listening to music for sure, and then definitely talking to people too, because like a lot of it is people feel like they don't feel like that matters, or like it's or some people are not even comfortable with it. But keeping all that in is it's not good for anybody's mental, physical, sometimes emotional, whatever it may be. So that's definitely a big one.
Yeah, I call this kid all the time. Just like if I'm in the shitter, just because I know that talking to people sometimes is just better than not.
Yeah, you may get emotional, but it's just it's just part of it.
Just how it is.
It's how you gotta get past it. So it's like losing a loved one. Go through the stages of grief. You say the same thing for when you're down in the dumps. Kind of certain stages of it. People go through things differently. So
right. No, mental health is it's a weird concept because you really never have a full understanding of your own. I feel like until you're at the place that you want to be in life, because there's always, and even then, even when you're at the place that you want to be in life, if you're not right mentally, there'll still always be something wrong. So if you're not right, you always fight yourself. You always fight yourself and tell yourself that something's wrong, or I'm not good enough, or I'm about to lose my job.
Yeah.
Or I'll always have these thoughts, and you can't live like that. So being able to express yourself in other ways, I'm gonna be honest with you, you're the first person that's come out here and said that you read or have that debate, and that's a very different perspective, because a lot of people just fall back on smoking and listening to music and talking to their friends. But you have that kind of grasp on your mental health, that's sitting back by myself and soaking in knowledge. And it doesn't even have to be a smart book. It can just be Harry Potter or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a good, like I said, that's why we do this, is to have that different perspective. Because I would have never recommended sitting by yourself and reading a book to anybody.
I'm telling you, because it's
but sometimes if that's what you need, that's what works. Yeah. So I'm glad that you were able to, because to be honest, I always question asking people that, because sometimes people don't really know how to deal with their mental health, so they kind of just spin out whatever, and like I said, it always reverts back to just smoking and music, or not doing anything or whatever. So to have that extra thing was dope. So the backpack of kind of how we do the mental health segment is, I'm gonna do 5 categories. So I always say 4 categories, and then every episode I'll change the 4 categories, but out of 5 categories. So there's only one extra one that I forget every time. So I always just gonna do the 5. We're just gonna do 5. So spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, and emotionally.
There he goes.
I always like to get financially, and I'm gonna set it up for you. 1 through 10. Rank it, how you're feeling, how you're doing, and if you want to explain, you're more than welcome to, but I know a lot of people don't like to talk about their finances, so that's why I do it first. You bang it out, and then we'll just jump right to the next one. So you don't have to explain it if you don't want to. So, the first one on this list, financially, how you feeling 1 through 10?
Probably like a 7 to 8. I feel like I'm living comfortable. I'm not even living comfortable, I'm living I know I should be doing more, and I should be wanting to do more. So that's it kind of goes back to what I was saying, with the mental health thing in general. Having someone I got people around me who's doing good, I got people around me who's doing bad. So it's I always take that in, and I think okay, what do I feel like I should be doing? What do I feel like I should be eating? You feel me? So it's having those people around you, seeing them people do good, and things of that nature, and you use that as inspiration, and you can kind of say that for the other side. And I'm not saying that to insult anybody or anything like that, but it's just you take things from, for example, people who are lower on income, they're some are known to be more humble, more they look at outside of financial things, and then you got the people who are up, they may look at it opposite. So it's exactly. So it's definitely good to look at both of those and have them close to me. So. But yeah, definitely a 7, because I feel like I should definitely be doing more than what I am right now. So
let me just give you some advice, because I'm always in the same boat. I feel like I'm good financially, but I should be doing more. And it's because like you said, you have other people in your circle that are doing better or doing worse. My circle, I have a specific person in my circle who's 31, and he's fucking killing it. He's top of the game. Couldn't really get any better until he moves. And I always compare myself to him, but I have to understand that he's 31. He's got that extra jump on me in terms of age, knowledge, and everything else. Now, his path might have been a little bit harder, or what mine might have been a little bit harder, or whatever the case may be. But he's got age on me, so like I don't know who you're talking about in your circle that is doing a little bit better than you, or you think, but always keep that in mind that even if he is doing better, my situation is different.
Yeah.
And
I'm not looking. I don't look at to compare. I just look at like.
It's like more like a humbling thing. It's like like you can do better, and like I know I'm good now, but I want more for myself.
Like I'm not saying that I want to beat him or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just use it as like a motivation. Yeah, that's
I know exactly what you're
that's why like I had to eliminate a lot of people from my life because it's like I'm not trying to soak off everybody and like I have to use you as motivation. I'm not saying that, but it's like good to have those different people around you. I'm not even saying like I'm not like let's not say bad friends, but like people who are like do like untrustworthy things because it's like you learn from. I feel like you should learn from everything you do. Any interaction you should learn from it. So it's like you have to take those things into consideration. So I definitely feel like that.
Yeah, no, I agree in every aspect, brother. That was good. So we did financially.
Yeah.
I think the next easiest one is physically. 1 out of 10. How you feeling?
Are you dropping buckets right now or not?
Yeah,
I ain't hooping in a minute, bro. Like I just be like like probably like a 6.8. Like,
so you can get out there and hit a couple shots, but you ain't hooping, is what you're saying?
Yeah, type shit. Like, I ain't no hooper, but like I'll hoop, like type shit. But like I definitely want to get more shit. I want to work on my cardio and like more of my upper body strength type shit. But it's about to get
That's what we doing. Emotionally. Now this 1 out of 10. This could be how you deal with your emotions or how you express your emotions, whatever your interpretation of when I ask you, that question.
Yeah.
Describe your emotions 1 out of 10, rank them.
Probably definitely like a 9. Like cause I got real good control of my emotions. Like I use it, and that's because of like when I was like probably say up to like I don't even know, like I was like a teenager or whatever, but like I was like a horrible kid, like I never learned from anything, like I would just keep doing I ain't gonna say a horrible kid, I'm not dragging.
I was gonna say I was your friend, we weren't that
I wasn't bad, but like I just did dickhead like regular kid shit, you feel me? So it's like but nah, once I like graduated high school, like literally like my whole mindset changed. So it's like I looked at things different, like like men can have emotions, things of that nature, So I started taking a look at everybody's situation, questioning things before I really respond or things of that nature. So I feel like I got a real good grasp of my emotions from doing that, and definitely comparing. Like one day, like honestly, I talked to my mom about it. Like we just had to sit down, like, and she was like, she told me she's proud of me, like from what I've become, because now she always had faith in me and things of that nature. But it's just like, to hear that from her, like,
means a lot.
Yeah, definitely. So it means I'm like I really like made an improvement or like changed my ways. So
because your mom's not gonna bullshit.
Exactly. So I feel like I definitely got a good grasp of my emotions. I know how to like slow down from doing things and overreacting. So yeah.
All right.
And then was it spiritually?
Spiritually is the next one. Now this doesn't necessarily mean God itself. It could be however, like, whatever spirit you attract to. 1 through 10. Like how would you rank spiritually?
Probably like a 9 too. Like, cause it's like I believe there's a higher up for sure. Now I believe there's a kind of like a heaven or a hell. I'm not gonna necessarily put a specific name on it.
Right.
But
do you believe in karma?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
So I do too.
Yeah, but when it gets to like church and like having like or not even church, any religion it may be, like I don't really get deep into everything. Like I just kind of believe I know there's a higher up, and then heaven is a thing. So like once it gets done, like all that other stuff.
You don't have to be overly knowledgeable in any religion to still have a faith for whatever you believe.
Yeah, definitely.
So I definitely feel you.
Yeah, I just take a look at it like I kind of take. It's like with anything, I just take things from each like religion I learn about. Like okay, I like how to do
Right.
I'm not saying I'm practicing their things, but
it's just your grasp on
exactly.
You don't have to label yourself in one category or another to just have your own personal beliefs.
Definitely.
All right, and then the last one, the one that we all pay the big bucks for, mentally. How are you feeling today, sitting here right now, 1 through 10 mentally?
Probably like an 8.5. I feel like I came to like a point where it's like, all right, like I was lackadaisical. Like I wasn't really like I wasn't.
What a word.
Oh,
Like,
forget the word. Can we talk about what was the first one busting out the decimals?
What? I want to know.
You feel me? So it's like I was like, all right,
I
like I sat down myself and I'm like, all right, this is what I gotta do, and this is how I'm gonna do it. So it's like from here on out. And I was like probably like a couple months ago, or like 2 or 3 months ago. Like so I labored out my way to do it. So now I just gotta execute everything.
Let me ask you a question. How do you handle change?
I handle changes just like I don't want to like sound like a robot, but just how I take a look at anything. I look at it as a way to like learn. Okay, all right. So like for example, like I lived in Buffalo for like up to like all my life pretty much. So it was like I tried Florida for like a week or something like that, but we came back. But so it's been Buffalo, and then I moved to Atlanta like with my cousin or whatever, and it was like a whole different situation. It was only like probably like a month and a half or something like that, maybe like 2 months. But it was like a whole change in everything, like vernacular, like everything changed. So it's like, I looked at it as like, all right, let me just, let me see what this is about. Like, I feel like you can't do bad by, changing. Like,
no, I know, but I meant it more in terms of like when things don't go according to plan and you have to adapt.
Okay.
Things change, unexpectedly. Like, is it something where you get down by it, or you get anxiety, or are you one of the people like, you know what, looking at it for what it is, it didn't go the way I planned. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people. I mean, even myself at times. If I have something planned and I want to do A, B, and C, and then QXW come out, now I'm like, I might be down on myself at the moment. So that's why I was asking. Life is about change and how we react to it. So that's why I want to get your perspective.
Oh yeah, for sure. So like, it's tough because I don't get upset, but it depends on what. If it's something like I was really prepared myself about, and I'm like, all right, let's do this. Like, it's gonna go like this, and it goes completely different. Like, I'm gonna look at it like, damn, I am gonna get a little emotional. I'm like, fuck,
Well, we're all human beings.
Yeah.
If you're studying,
but some people take failure differently though.
No, I know, but I'm if you're doing high school, everything's great, and you really, really want to go to Duke, and you don't get accepted, now you're whole. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were planning your future 4 years somewhere, and now that's complete. That's gonna take a hit.
I take it as you gotta really you gotta bounce back. You gotta use that as an experience, and
So you're wanting to be able to use things that don't go your way as motivation.
Yeah, for sure. And
that's huge.
Yeah, I feel like that's just from what was around me. I have two bigger brothers, 2 different situations. Mom, dad, all different situations. So it's yeah.
I feel like it's good, and I always told my brother this for years. So I tell him this too. I feel like in order to do yourself justice, you have to learn from your elders, and elders meaning not just adults. Like, I always tell my brother, don't do as I do. Learn from the mistakes I'm making as your older brother. If I didn't go to school and missed out on going to a great college, and you do the same thing, that's on you now. Because you saw what happened to me, you've learned from it, but you're still doing it. If I had another brother, I would keep, it's easier because I'm the older, so I'm a little wiser, they say.
Oh, you're the oldest?
Yeah, but I tried to tell them that. And if I had an older sibling, I would see how they went along through life, starting high school, college, all these things, and I would be able to learn from, hey, this didn't go right for them, I'm going to make sure I don't do that.
Yeah, take it as a blessing, honestly.
That's what I mean, because you don't always have people in front of you that are around the same age to learn from. I'm a couple years older than Joey, so I was telling him, don't learn from what happened with me. Don't do that. You saw what happened with me, because I'm going to get through it, but you have the opportunity to not make that same mistake and not have to go through that experience, because you have your own experiences to go through.
What does AJ always say?
That's what I say.
Yeah.
So, I'm just wanting to,
what is the saying? Your struggle brings your success.
Your struggle
brings your success.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's basically what that is,
Why put more on your plate?
Learning experiences.
When you already have your own. You know what I'm saying? If I have to do 100 different things and learn from these 100 lessons, and have to go through that personally, why would you add 50 more of things that you've seen around you when you already have your own list of things that you're going to have to go through? So I think it's good to just be able to use the people around you and learn from them. Because we have so much things in life we have to go through.
So I know you probably don't want to do this, but we are going to do this.
Okay, Tony just said audio. I don't know if the people can hear us or what, but
they might not. I was gonna say maybe just because we were talking kind of quiet there.
maybe that.
But either way, you want to go first? You want me to go first? Cause we gotta do it.
I don't care.
All right, 1 through 5, 1 through 10. We'll do the 5.
Yeah.
Financially, how you feeling?
8.
Spiritually.
7.
Physically.
8.
What was it? Emotionally.
Emotionally, probably like a 3.
And mentally.
Probably like a 1.
A 1? Alright, that's not good. These are all things that you can improve on, but every day is a new day. So that is fine. Today, you might be feeling that way. Tomorrow, let's hope that you're not. So.
Okay.
Alright, I'm not. Are you not?
Okay, so
I was just saying.
1 through 10 spiritually.
It lacked in the last couple weeks. It was like a 7, 8 last time, so I'm gonna bump it down to like a 5. Bump it down to a 5.
Okay. Emotionally.
Man, not good. Definitely a lot of room for improvement. So I'll say like 5, 6.
5, 6. All right. Mentally.
Mentally, same thing. Not great. A lot of room for improvement. Probably 5, 6. Physically, I feel like dog shit, but I look great. I'm not gonna lie. I'm the skinniest I've been since before high school, like weight wise.
Yeah.
However, I don't think it's good. So I'm just, I think my body's starting to catch up to me. So I'm gonna.
But you still get crossed by me in the job.
No, I'm just better than ever. I'm better than ever at hooping. So, but I'll give it like a 7 because I've been feeling really good at I've been feeling really good before, but yeah, I give about a 7.
And since you started your new joint,
financially, I haven't received any dividends from my new job, so I don't know what I'm gonna look like with like new job money flowing in. But we always good financially. But what did I say in the last episode?
That's why I saved it for last.
Until I have $1 million, I will always be 0 out of 10 financially. But like I said, new job, we'll get new dividends. We'll see where we're at. But yeah, 0 out of 10. But I think this was a really good episode, man. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I got our boy pretty fried before we started. He was a little nervous. You did great, bro. It was a great episode. Do you want me to turn the camera off? Because then you're gonna have to close it out. Okay. I think.
Tyler, I appreciate you coming on, brother. It's been a long time coming. I've been wanting to debate with you. You're very knowledgeable about sports, and you're not as crazy as some of his takes.
All right. That's fine. Look at you. Hit the fucking light. As you was talking shit, you hit the light.
I don't think the light's not on the camera.
You'll probably have to hit it from the bottom, just because I think my phone's like
the bottom
angled the wrong way. Like can you see the red button?
No, it's a square.
Well, yeah, but you gotta hit the stop button. It's all the way at the bottom of my phone. That's what I'm saying.
Should I take it out?
I mean, you could.
Yeah, I'll take it out. How do I take it out?
All right.
No, I got it.
You just pull it out. Oh yeah, great camera quality. But this has been another episode of your favorite podcast in the world, the best sports podcast in the 716.
Joe, there's no red button.
It's at the bottom. The stop button?
Yeah, there's no red button.
I was doing the outro and you fucked it up. Alright, stop. It's right here. This button right here.
That's not red.
Say goodbye to the fans.
Bye.
You guys are fucking.